Good morning, students. Yesterday we had solved the questions on module 2. Let us solve the questions on module 3 and module 4 today. The very first question number 5a, what are the functions of signal conditioning equipment? What are the functions of signal conditioning equipment? This question is for 5 marks. This question is for 5 marks. The various functions of signal conditioning equipment are amplification, modification or modulation, impedance matching, data processing and data transmission. What is amplification? Amplification is to increase the strength of the signal, right? To increase the strength of the signal or to increase the level of the signal, that is called as the amplification. Next, modification or modulation. Modification or modulation is nothing but to modify the signal or to amplify or to attenuate the signal or to convert the signal from analog to digital. So it is nothing but changing the form of the signal, that is the modification or modulation. Third one, impedance matching. If the device on which the parameters has to be measured is connected to the transducer, then that device may cause the loading effect on the transducer. So transducer input and output impedance are adjusted such that there is no loading effect of that particular object on the transducer. This is called as impedance matching. Data processing. Data processing are nothing but the processing operations such as addition, subtraction, differentiation, integration. They are called as data processing operations. Data transmission, to transmit the data from the transmitting end to the receiving end without affecting the content of the signal, without affecting the content of the information. That is important here. So these are the 5 functions of the signal conditioning equipment: amplification, modification or modulation, impedance matching, data processing and data transmission. Question number 5b, what is an op-amp? State the characteristics of an op-amp. This is asked for 5 marks. What is op-amp? That is, you have to define the op-amp and then list out the characteristics of an op-amp. First, the definition. An operational amplifier is a high gain electronic voltage amplifier with a differential input and single ended output. Output potential or output voltage is many times greater than the input voltage. So this is called as the operational amplifier. An operational amplifier is a high gain electronic voltage amplifier with differential input and single ended output. Output potential is many times larger than the potential difference between its input terminals. Then looking into its characteristics of a non-ideal op-amp. There are different characteristics here. Finite open loop gain. Its gain, that is open loop gain, means there is no connection between input and the output. There is no feedback path. It is called as open loop. So finite open loop gain. Finite input impedance. Input impedance is finite. Finite input offset voltage. Offset voltage is whenever there is no input voltage, then also there exists some output voltage. This is called as the offset voltage. So this is finite for a non-ideal op-amp. Finite bandwidth, finite output impedance and finite common mode rejection ratio. So finite common mode rejection ratio, that is the ability of the op-amp to reject common mode signals. It is called as a common mode rejection ratio, finite common mode rejection ratio. These are the characteristics of non-ideal op-amp. Then if we require the characteristics of the ideal op-amp, then it is wherever it is finite, it will become infinite. Infinite open loop gain, infinite input impedance, infinite very large offset voltage, infinite bandwidth, infinite output impedance, infinite common mode, very large common mode rejection ratio. So these will be the characteristics of the ideal op-amp, right? Question number 5c. What do you mean by filter and filtering? How are the filters classified? It is asked for 6 marks. First, they have asked the definition of filter and filtering and then the classification of the filters. Filter is a device that removes the unwanted component in the signal applied. So filter is a device that removes the unwanted components from a signal. This is called as a filter. Then filtering is nothing but the process or the feature that by which the filter removes the unwanted signal. Filter is a device that removes unwanted components from the signal. The process or the feature by which the unwanted components are removed from the signal is called as filtering. Next, classification of filters. Filters are mainly classified as active filter and passive filters. This is one type of classification. In active filters, they make use of the op-amp along with the resistors and capacitors. In passive filters, they make use of the passive components, which are energy consuming components such as resistors, capacitors and inductors. In active filters, inductors are not used. In passive filters, inductors are used. So this is active and passive. Then there are other classification of filters also, such as low pass filter, which passes low values of frequency, high pass filter, which passes high values of frequency, band pass passes certain band of frequencies, band reject, it rejects certain band of frequencies. So this is about the filtering and classification of filters. Question number 6a. Draw the block diagram of a generalized data acquisition system and explain it briefly. This is asked for 6 marks. Okay. This is the block diagram of a generalized data acquisition system. This is the block diagram of a generalized data acquisition system, as you can see here. Here there is the input that is applied, the physical input. It is applied to the transducer. Physical input is applied to the transducer. Transducer converts the signal from one form of energy into another form, or it converts the input signal into electrical energy, and they are applied to the signal conditioner blocks. Here signal conditioner blocks. Signal conditioner block will condition the signal. It will condition the signal as per the requirement. That is, it will modify the signal as per the requirement, and it will apply it to the multiplexer. Multiplexer will select either of these signals. There are many signals. Multiplexer is a block which selects one among the inputs and sends it to the output. So this is a multiplexer block which selects one among these inputs. This multiplexer and this ADC are controlled by the control logic. This is the control logic which controls the functioning of the multiplexer and the ADC. The ADC output can be applied to a printer, or it can be displayed. It can be displayed on a digital device, or it can be recorded on a magnetic tape recorder, right? Or it can be interfaced with the computer. So this is the output from the ADC, output from the analog to digital converter. So this is how the different blocks function in a generalized data acquisition system. Next, question number 6b. Explain the working of a multi-channel analog multiplex data acquisition system. So it is a working of a multi-channel analog multiplex data acquisition system. This is an analog signal scaling. Then next block is scaling, amplification and signal conditioning blocks. From there it is applied to the mux block, mux to sample and hold to ADC, then ADC to the buffer. Let us see the functions of these blocks. The first block is the analog signal, which is the input signal. Multi-channel, the name itself indicates that there are many channels. So input channels are more than one. So that's why it is called as multi-channel. So we are working of a multi-channel analog multiplexed. So analog signals are employed. So it is analog signal here. Multiplexed. So mux is used, or multiplexer is used. So that is the multiplexed data acquisition system. Data acquisition system is the system which is meant for acquiring the signals. The analog signals are applied to the signal conditioning block. The analog signal, whichever is applied, it is amplified and conditioned as per the requirement. Then the conditioned and the amplified signals are applied to the mux. Multiplexer will select one among the applied inputs, and it will apply it to the sample and hold circuit. The sample and hold circuit will sample the signal. The sample and hold circuit will sample the signal, right? It will sample the signal. So sample and hold block function is to sample and hold the signal. It is the pre-block to the ADC. So before the ADC converts analog to digital signal, first the signal has to be applied to the sample and hold circuit, and then it has to be applied to the ADC, so that accuracy will be more, right, and the sampling and hold times are satisfied. So then it is applied from sample and hold circuit block to the ADC block. This ADC block is controlled by the control logic. Then from the ADC it is applied to the buffer. So in the buffer the required signal is stored. It's a storage device, and from there it can be applied to the computer or to any data transmission devices. Hope you are following, students, here, right? Question number 6C. Explain briefly R2R ladder DAC, R2R ladder D2A converter and PWM. The name itself indicates it is R2R ladder. It's the R2R ladder means the resistors R and 2R are employed here. R and 2R are employed. R and 2R are used. So one resistor is say 10K, and the next, and then one more resistor here 2R will be 20K, and 10K, 20K, 10K, 20K, like that. So they are connected in a ladder fashion. That is why it is called as R2R ladder DAC. It's a simple and inexpensive way to perform digital to analog conversion using repetitive arrangement of resistors in a ladder like configuration. Here the MSB is AN-1, that is, this is our MSB. Then we have the LSB as A0. Okay, MSB is AN-1, then AN-2, A2, A1, A0. So A0 is our LSB. Depending upon the bits that we are applying it to here, to these inputs, that is AN-1 to A0 inputs, depending upon the bits we are applying either 0 or 1, we get the corresponding output voltage Vout. Let us see how we are getting the outputs here. So bit AN-1 MSB through bit A0 LSB are switched between 0 logic and 1 logic 1. Depending on which bits are set to 1 and 0, output voltage will change. V0 is equal to V reference into V value by 2 raised to n. So if we take n equal to 5 for 5 bit digital to analog converter, V reference is 3.3 volts. It is CMOS logic 1 voltage. That will be our reference voltage. CMOS complementary metal oxide semiconductor logic high is 3.3 volts. Then Vout will vary between 0 volts, that is value equal to 0. So all bits are 0, all 5 bits are 0, and maximum value equal to 31. That is all 5 bits are high. Right? So V0 will be equal to 3.3 volt into 31 for 5 bit. So 11111 31, that is our value. V reference is 3.3 volts divided by 2 raised to 5, 2 raised to n, 2 raised to 5. That comes out to 3.196875 volts. Similarly, corresponding to value equal to 1, that is if we consider the same reference voltage, that is 3.3 volts, 2 raised to n, value equal to 1. So 3.3 volt into 1 upon 2 raised to 5. That comes out to 0.103125 volts. So this is how the R2R ladder DAC is converting the digital input into analog output. Right? Hope you are following, students, right? So students, in today's session we have covered few topics in module 3 in the form of solving the questions which have appeared in the examination. So first question was, what are the functions of signal conditioning equipment? We have seen the functions. Then later we saw op-amp, characteristics of op-amp, different characteristics of op-amp. Then about filters, what is filter, filtering, classification of filters. Then block diagram of a generalized data acquisition system and its explanation. Explain the working of the multi-channel analog multiplexed data acquisition system, its block diagram and its working. Then finally R2R ladder DAC is one of the data acquisition system. R2R ladder DAC, R2R ladder digital to analog converter and block we have seen here. Okay, so this is how we have covered the various topics here. Okay, So pulse width model and PW R to R ladder DAC is a one part, and PWM pulse width modulation. In pulse width modulation, the width of the pulses is varied in accordance with the information signal. So that is what is called as the pulse width modulation. So this R to R ladder DAC and pulse width modulation are employed in the data acquisition systems. Hope you have followed, students. If there are any doubts, send your doubts to me. I will clear your doubts. Thank you.